I do that all the time. Not only do I do that, I do this thing where I write the same word twice in a row. I write the a lot, or I skip words, which is part of. So it's a good time to talk about that, about flow. That's flow. That's what happens when you start to lose. You start to lose the part of yourself that's paying too much attention to things like that, because you can always change a word. You can always go back and make sure you don't have doubled up words around and stuff like that. If it means that you're writing messier but you're writing more in connection with a fluid motivation, fluid place, that's good. It's just, that's a subconscious place. And people are always like, oh, I do. They try to get into that state without planning, which is fine, but then they put it directly on their script and then I have to read it, and then I'm like, okay, you would have helped yourself out a lot more if you'd created a couple of objectives for yourself before you tried to write all this out. Character development, story development, having certain facts in place, not necessarily rigidly, can help you when you're writing something. Like sometimes I'll write stuff with characters that is never going to go in any script. I call it writing scratch. I'll just take a scene and I'll write them talking to each other, and it may not be in any way, like it might, if it's productive in a sense that I understand what I do or don't want to include, it helps get me out of the mindset that every single thing that I do has to either be planned or that I should be able to be more spontaneous. It's more that I just take this space and I set it aside and I just kind of, write whatever I write. And it's for me. And if I come out of it with one line, if I come out of 3 pages with 1 or 2 lines, then I just did all this work, right? That I won't later have to do when I'm dealing with 100 pages instead of the 3 pages that I just scratched out. So I don't know if does that make sense? It's like free writing. If you've ever taken a creative writing class in high school, you've done free writing, right? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. In high school, like, I don't know if English class, writing class, what you would call it, but like at the beginning of the class, everybody has 15 minutes to just write stuff down, and they can read or not. Yeah, it's gonna be, it's a very common creative writing technique. And basically what it does, the whole purpose of it is not really to generate content that's usable or craft it worthy or any of that. It's just to get your brain in the mode it needs to be in to drop into that more subconscious creative flow. It's like faking it till you make it. And I feel like screenwriting, we don't talk about that enough. We don't do that enough. Like, I love to write about my characters outside of the context of the script, because then I know so much more about them. By the time I get to the script, writing the script is easier. It feels smoother.